All right, Anthony on Air Podcast back for another episode. Thanks so much for joining us. We're talking about the day's news, as we always do, including the fact that Northport Police mistook Brian Laundrie's mother for him. Jeffrey Epstein's settlement to be kept under wraps. Very, very disappointed in that. The armorer on the Alec Baldwin film Rust was in a lot of trouble with another big actor, Nicolas Cage. We'll share that story with you here. Josh Cavallo comes out of the closet today. Tiger King 2, the trailer was released. The Chicago Blackhawks have cleaned house because of a sex scandal. Stoner treats disguised as normal snacks. Look out for that. Could your snack drawer be getting you high? Coming up at 11. Tim Allen out as Buzz Lightyear, and this Six Flags meal plan, which is such an awesome story. We'll share that all with you and more on this episode of the Anthony on Air Podcast, brought to you by our great pals over at Jumpstart Coffee Company. Save 15% with the link in the description below or on the banner of the homepage of anthonyonair.com. Use the promo code AOA. More on them in a moment. Frankie C is here. What's up, my man?
Same old, my friend. Same old.
I could see Brian Laundrie being confused for Brian Laundrie's dad, because I feel like, isn't his dad bald as well, too? Or kind of...
You're saying all bald people look the same?
Light on the hair. She's bald. But
yeah, Brian Laundrie's mom has a nice...
Do you remember?
I was bald.
You can't put Seinfeld on Netflix and not expect it to come up more often in the podcast. It's going to happen. But yeah, anyway, so Joshua Taylor, my favorite guy from the Northport Police Department, the guy who was up in his TikTok numbers.
Right.
He basically said that as the police department was surveilling the house, they thought they had Brian Laundrie there. It turns out it was the mom that they were seeing in the house, not Brian Laundrie himself. Honest mistake. I mean...
For like a long time?
They began monitoring the comings and goings at the Laundrie home on September 12th. That was the day after Gabby was reported missing. They mistook Laundrie's mother for him on September 13th after she drove up in her son's gray Ford Mustang. Roberta Laundrie, according to Taylor, was wearing a baseball cap at the time. Taylor told the WINK News on Monday that the mother and son are built similarly. That is a huge insult to Roberta. I would imagine she'd be upset to hear that.
I don't know. You're built like a 22-year-old boy, maybe.
That might be upsetting for a 45, 50-year-old woman to hear.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure that's the last thing in her mind right now.
I have a general rule. That's true. But I have a general rule not to comment on 50-year-old women's appearance at all, other than to say, you look really nice.
Anybody under 50, fair game?
I might say to people, you look really nice too. You know what, though? I don't really compliment people all that much anymore. I really don't. I'm not a complimenter.
Yeah, people you know, maybe.
Especially women. No, people I know, yeah. But like women, like professional setting, like you can't. I don't really say like, oh, you look nice today, or I feel like that's built in with an insult. Am I right?
Yeah, like every other day.
Yeah.
Pile of horse crap. Today, clean up nice.
If somebody else, though, says, oh, your hair looks great, I'll be like, yeah, it does. I'll piggyback a compliment, but I will not initiate a compliment.
Well, you're just a bastard.
I feel like well, I don't know. People get sensitive about these things.
That's true.
I know.
You can't say, oh, nice jacket. Nice,
yeah. Well, people go, oh, you look good. Or did you lose a little weight? It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Because it just does. I don't know.
It's like, stop monitoring my weight.
Yeah. Like what are you, my doctor? You want to put the little blood pressure thing on me next?
They love to do that.
In a statement, the Northport Police said that this misidentification did not have a big impact on costs and the investigation. He adds, other than confusion, it likely changed nothing. There's a very good possibility that Brian was already deceased at the time. He still needed to be found. We just wanted people to better understand why we thought we knew Brian was in his home. Because that's what, remember the very first press conference that they called, they were like, oh, we know where Brian is. He's at home.
But they didn't. So isn't that like the search could have started a lot sooner? I mean, I like that they said didn't really change anything, but kind of did. You can't just say it didn't change anything because
Yeah.
it did.
Search could have started probably a little sooner. Also, I mean, again, and I feel like we're coming in under fire a lot for this on the comments. People are like, you're being too sympathetic to Brian's parents, or people are like, they just lost their son and all this tragic stuff. Like it's a hard
you lose either way. You could be sympathetic to the parents. Right. Everybody attacks you.
You lose in either way. But my point is that okay, but he also left on what was it, the 12th or the 13th, and they didn't report him missing for another like 3 days. So I mean, if he left again, if that's me, if he leaves, doesn't come back the next day, by that night, I gotta say, I'm probably like, we should probably notify somebody that he's
maybe. I mean, I'm sure there's more to this we don't know. Maybe he told the parent, listen, I gotta maybe go, stay by my friends, or gonna go here.
Right.
I don't
didn't really think anything.
We don't know. I'm not trying to defend them. Don't come for me. But I'm just saying this.
I would love to know what it does, because the whole thing it's like, it's a nightmare. The whole
of course it is
a nightmare scenario when your child comes home without their significant other. You are just immediately thrown into this nightmare.
Yeah, you didn't. As the parents, you're not set up for this. You're not prepared to handle that.
You're just walking around a different. It's like, I equate it to like when like a loved one has a heart attack or stroke or gets taken to the hospital. Like your world is regular, and then all of a sudden you're just in this tunnel vision visits, and are they going to be? It's just nightmare. It's just nightmare scenario. It's the closest thing I could equate to it for people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but kudos to, and again, you can't even have sympathy for anybody. I know the Northport police are going to take it on the chin for this, but I feel like, hey, they're honest. At least they tried.
Yeah. Why did they even make this statement?
And a lot of people are going to Monday morning quarterback them, but again, they're a local police municipality. They, a lot of local police, as professional as they are, I'm just saying, when you're just thrown onto the world stage.
Well, I'm not saying I could have done better, because I know I can't better than any police officer.
But JSAB could have done better.
But if your job is keep an eye on this person, you missed. I don't know. You haven't seen him. Yeah, maybe.
You're being tough on the police here, Frank.
No, I'm being. They obviously maybe lost him. They had him in his house.
I know, but what are you gonna do? Like, they see him. He's there. When he leaves, I don't know if they could necessarily follow him everywhere. I mean,
you can follow. Free country. You could drive anywhere. I'm driving.
I think he's like, what they're saying here is, by the time he was a suspect and they got a hold of everything, they saw the mom pull up in his car. He walks inside with the hat. They think, okay, there he is. He's in there. And they probably sat there and waited until, it was like, oh, he's not in there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Probably thought he was just hiding.
I'm just speculating. Again, they probably did everything they could. I'm just trying to look at it from all angles.
Again, day one, they're like, hey, we'd like to talk to you. And then they get to talk to our lawyer, so it's kind of like,
right.
The whole thing is
nobody could. Who knows?
Shit show. My wife just called it a shit show.
It is a shit description.
Yeah, very, very accurate description.
I'm not down on the cops. They did everything they could. Jerk.
Sounds very anti-cop.
Yeah, shut
up. 50% off your Jumpstart coffee. Speaking of wonderful people, how about the Navy SEALs?
Beautiful group of people.
50% of the proceeds from 50% of the profits from Jumpstart Coffee Company go to the Navy SEAL Foundation to support our troops. I love that. I love the coffee. I love everything about this. Again, we read Rennie's review the other day. She bought some for her grandson, I can't remember, in college. He loves it. And you know how these college kids are. They're drinking, they're having vodka for breakfast, these crazy kids. I don't know what they're doing.
That coffee. Get you going in the morning. Get you, get to that test on time.
They're TikToking and vodkaing and doing all the things. So, they're all out of control. But if you can harness them with some great, delicious coffee with, with wonderful aromas and flavors, that's not an easy feat. And Jumpstart Coffee Company does that. I like the medium roast the best. They have the medium roast. They have the decaf. I guess some people need that. They have the espresso blend, the dark blend. They got it all. They got it all.
Right.
Order right now with the link in the description below, or use the promo code AOA15. Click on that banner on the homepage of AnthonyNarnett.com. Save yourself 15%. That doesn't come out of the Navy SEAL Foundation's kick. They keep that going to them, 50% of the profits right there. And, of course, your support goes to help support the podcast here. So we really, really appreciate that. Upstate on this, of course, we're keeping our eye on two things right now in the Epstein front. It's three things, really. It's the Virginia Jeffrey Prince Andrew lawsuit. It's obviously the Ghislaine trial. And then also down in West Palm, they were talking about releasing the last we left off. They're talking about releasing transcripts from the court cases they had down there. It looks like that's going to get done. We also thought that the deal that was reached between Virginia Roberts Giuffre and Epstein back in 2009, we thought that was going to come to light in the lawsuit between Virginia and Prince Andrew. It turns out that they are going to allow that settlement to be filed in this case, but Prince Andrew's lawyers are going to file it. They're going to file it sealed. And the judge is going to allow them to do that. And he's not going to, I shouldn't say he, it might be Judge Lewis Kaplan. He is going to allow them to keep it sealed. So we thought we were going to get like a look at this thing. And now it turns out we're not going to get it. They're putting it in sealed. I mean, I guess maybe it could still come to light, but I don't think this is a good first step that they're letting them submit this as sealed evidence.
I mean, as long as
why?
Yeah. What's the point of that?
It seems crazy to me, right? Doesn't it seem crazy? Like,
I mean, as long as it's doing it, it's, as long as the prosecution can get what they need from it and do whatever they have to do, doesn't matter if I see it or you see it. As long as they get the justice is served.
Right. Well, that's probably the thought there, because we know why Prince Andrew wants to keep as many things quiet as he possibly can. But why Jeffrey's lawyers would allow that, and Frank just kind of hit it on the nose there, where it's like, well, if letting it out is going to impugn their case at all, they don't want to take that risk. They're here to win for their client. As much as they're rooting for anybody against Epstein, I don't think that they want to blow their own client's deal while trying to do what's right in general.
Yeah, it's not about the client. It's about, like, if the prosecution has, it's as long as they've got everything they need to do this, to go forward with this case, I'm happy. You don't have to show me anything. I don't have to read the whole freaking thing. As long as they're able to use what they need and they're not being denied anything like that,
right?
Then let them. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know any of these people. So.
And again, this is mostly depositions between the two parties. This isn't the sweetheart deal that they're talking about releasing down there in West Palm.
Right.
I mean, this maybe would have shed a little light on that, maybe, but I don't know.
Right.
As
long as justice is being done, justice for these girls, then do what you got to do.
I watched My Cousin Vinny again the other day. It's just, I cannot turn that movie off when it's on. It's
an amazing movie.
Is it not one of the greatest trial law movies ever?
It's up there. It definitely is.
The only other one that comes to mind is not a comedy for me, but which I love, which people may not have even heard of, but The Rainmaker. You ever see The Rainmaker?
I've heard of it. I never made it.
Danny DeVito and a young Matt Damon. Amazing.
Not bad. I liked Few Good Men.
Danny Glover's the judge in Rainmaker. I'm sorry, I'm just remembering all. It's amazing. A Few Good Men.
Classic.
That's up there too. Yeah, that's.
And we're talking court.
That's
Liar, Liar. It's a good court movie.
We went from here on the credibility scale of this topic to
Jim Carrey. Come on. It's a great
movie. Pen is blue. Speaking of film, the armorer in the Alec Baldwin film Rust previously was screamed at by Nicolas Cage.
My boy, Nicolas Cage.
Not a
Now,
great, yeah, Frank's favorite actor.
what happened here?
I'm not even going to tell you what Frank said about Nicolas Cage and his wife prior to the podcast, but it was unsettling for me. It was uncomfortable.
That's hilarious.
What happened here was, so she's a 24-year-old girl, Hannah Gutierrez Reed. She was in charge of weapons. They call that person an armorer. On the set of his film, The Old Way, in August, Nicolas Cage told The Wrap that Hannah was repeatedly accused by crew members of breaking basic safety protocols in Montana where they were shooting this film. At one point, Cage even walked off the set screaming at her after she fired a gun without warning. Wait for it, damn it. For a second time in 3 days.
Why would she do that?
Firing a gun without warning for the second time in 3 days. I mean, you have got to be a real piece of work to do that. Yeah, right. What are you doing?
I mean, give people, hey, a heads up. I have to fire this weapon. It's going to be loud.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he yelled at her. So they've had problems with her. Now she was the armorer on the Baldwin movie.
She was the armorer on the Baldwin movie. The Nicolas Cage movie's key grip, Stu Brumbaugh, told the assistant director that she needs to be let go. This was also the young lady. Remember, I told you I heard that podcast clip of her saying like, "Oh, she's learning on the job and figuring it out as she goes." It's like, what? Like what?
No.
Let me see here. Brumbaugh also detailed a series of complaints that were made about Gutierrez Reed, including that she walked onto the set with live rounds or blanks without announcing them to the cast or crew. She also walked around with pistols tucked underneath her armpits so that they were pointing back at people.
Oh.
And allowed firearms to be aimed at people. This is what Brumbaugh told The Wrap.
What is going on here? I mean, how does she still have a career in this?
I don't know. 24 years old. I don't think she's going to have much of a career after this.
Yeah.
Another crew member, by the way, speaking on terms of anonymity, confirmed all these accusations against her.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
So apparently she was the one that allegedly loaded the gun.
Yeah, well, yes, her. I don't know who exactly loaded the gun, but that was basically her job on the Rust set. And the assistant director, I think, was the one who handed Baldwin the gun. So I think it went through a couple of different layers of protection that failed. Well, again, why I am unclear to this day. I understand using real guns. I am unclear as to why a real bullet needs to be on any.
Why would a real bullet be anywhere near?
I do not.
That's like having an elephant on the set. You don't need it. Get it out of here.
I do not know. I mean, the only thing I could dream up was like, you ever see those movies where they're at a shooting range?
Oh, if they have to load them, if they're like
right, you have to see the target You have to see the target being hit.
Yeah,
that's the only situation.
I feel like even then, it's
like a rubber bullet. Put rubber bullets in there or something,
or it's like the target just pops, and nothing hits it.
Well,
you don't have to see the bullet flying. You could just see the target getting hit.
You have to shoot something at it. A pebble.
No, they have a little. They have something on the target that makes it explode.
What's something? What?
What are they called? I don't know what they're called.
This argument.
You gotta have squibs. Squibs.
Yeah, but a squib. How are you gonna put a squib on a piece of paper?
I don't know. Leave me alone. What do I look like?
By the way, I'm surprised those squibs haven't hurt anybody.
I'm sure they don't feel great.
I'm sure they don't, but I like you never hear a story of like hey, I was on the set and the squibs were like almost took an eye out or something like that. That's a dangerous thing to me. As me.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, these things pop through shirts and through clothing.
Yeah.
That's got to have some kind of force.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a right way and a wrong way to put them on so that the pop goes away from you, not this way.
Right. How does it not go up sometimes? Or like that's a miracle to me. That always fascinated me. That and the fact that ATMs never give out the wrong amount of money. I don't know how this
They
works.
say you got a better chance of like getting hit by lightning and something or other than getting the wrong ATM
Yeah.
money.
Because every other automated form of dispensing something is a nightmare. Candy bars, soft drinks, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, they should use ATM technology in my snack choices.
Yeah.
With my snack choices, because that's
And it's
got
a
to
thing.
change.
Like a drink, like a beverage is like a thing. We're talking about a paper thin piece of gets it right every single time. Yet it can't grab the thing.
Yeah, it'll count it out perfectly.
I don't get it.
I don't
I
get it.
just don't get it.
I don't know, man.
So anyway, I just you read things like this, and I don't know who's
They're still investigating it, so who knows what
yeah.
exactly it's going to come of this. It's horrible.
But somebody is going to pay. I mean, just this is just negligence.
Yeah.
It just
Oh yeah.
comes down to negligence and unsafe workplaces, and
It's unbelievable.
yeah, it really is. And you don't think it can happen because you got huge stars in these things, but the truth of the matter is, if you listen to anybody talk about the music business in the movie business in the last few years, they've been picking people apart like crazy. Like they've been just downsizing and cost cutting, and used to be you got a movie, there was like 3 months of rehearsal time. Now there's almost no rehearsal time for actors and crew and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you think, all right, this is a movie, it's got big stars and everything, but you got hundreds of people behind the scenes working on this thing. Everybody's got to do their job perfectly, or else something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with props and sets, and it's the tiniest detail. Something one screw is missing in a set, and it's the whole thing. Who knows? It's the little details. Everybody's got to be on their game.
How many times I feel like once a year we get that story of like a stage collapses or some big rig thing falls over, and it's like
a crane in the city fall.
Yeah. When I'll never forget this. When I used to work in the airport, I when I was in college, I helped I for money. I worked at Kennedy Airport, and the thing that messed me up was when we used to drive. When I started, I was in baggage, so I was like part of the crew that used to put the bags on the plane. But mostly, I just took the bags from the passengers and put it on the belt, or I took it from the belt and put it in the cart that went to the plane. I didn't really go and take it from the cart to the plane all that often. That wasn't really what I did. But whenever I would drive out on the thing, it was a rule that you had to look around and make sure that nothing fell off or nothing was on the ground, because one little thing gets picked up and swept into the engine and you could have a huge problem. That was it. Like I could never, like I was like, when I would go out there, I would be like OCD. Like I would, cause all I thought about was I'm going to miss a penny on the floor, and it is going to take down a 737 and kill 400 people. And they're going to be like, why didn't the baggage guy get the penny on the floor? That's all I thought about.
That's insane. How could that? I mean, I'm sorry, but there's got to be a different way to check that stuff. I mean, the plane on the runway. I mean, there should be like fans or something blowing shit off the runway, something to keep those things clean. Because a bird could fly over and drop a shell or anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a shell is not going to make it. They're talking more like
rocks and shit,
nuts and bolts. Well, the thing is, like all these baggage things had these like clamp thing, like, and they said like if something falls off or whatever, or you see something on the floor, like you've got to go get it. You got to pick it up. You cannot leave anything out on the tarmac ever. And I would just be in a mad panic when I was out there, just like just like feverishly looking around. Like
They should have like giant Zambonis where the back of the thing is just really wide and it just goes up the runway and
and
sweeps it clean.
sweeps it. Yeah, yeah. They kind of do their thing. They have all their stuff in place, but
Boy,
that always weirded me. That like I would always be in a panic. I would
But you ever
always be
see
in a panic.
you ever see that? I think it's a TikTok thing or it's some short video where there's someone just looking out the plane window as they're in the air and like the engine is held on with duct tape.
Yeah,
You ever see that?
there's a yeah. I've seen that picture.
What the
Yeah,
hell is that?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I see those things. I go, this can't be real. I don't really know.
I hope it's not, but oh god,
Maybe it was. Who knows?
that scared the shit out of me.
It would definitely.
So who is Josh Cavallo?
Josh Cavallo is a 21-year-old A-League midfielder.
Okay.
By the way, this reminds me of Twitter Bill. Great,
Yeah.
awesome dude. Fan and friend for years. We were talking about Halloween costumes, and they were talking about bootleg costumes that are out there,
Okay.
and the descriptions of them.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
I
Like
was
all the
just,
different, like Juice Monster or Juice Ghost or something.
Juice
For Beetlejuice.
was Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Can't get sued, even though it looks like Tony Walnuts, Paulie Walnuts.
I was dying, but the best one that he posted, which he also said was his favorite, it was a costume of hold on, I'm picking it up. It was a costume of Wednesday Addams, and the
Okay.
description was evil midweek cutie.
Midweek. Cute.
Is that so funny?
That's so stupid.
Midweek.
It's a catchy name. I think if I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Midweek. What the hell?
Great.
Midweek Adams.
How do we get around Wednesday Addams? I know, midweek. We'll call it midweek.
They couldn't go with Hump Day, so they went with Midweek.
Yeah,
Midweek
there was
Adams.
a Prince costume that was 80s purple musician costume.
80s purple. Purple musician.
Yeah.
There was one I thought I saw with like what's his name? It's a Super Mario costume, and it was like an Italian plumber or something. It's like, all right, I guess.
Beetlejuice was Juice Demon.
Juice Demon.
Yeah.
Careful those juice demons. They come out of your OJ in the morning. You watch out.
Evil midweek cutie. That's fucking great. That's a good band name, actually. Now that I think about it.
I wonder what they call Pugsley.
Good question. Anyway, midweek cutie reminded me of midfielder. Josh Cavallo is a 21-year-old Australian A-League midfielder. He plays for Adelaide United, and he came out as gay today.
Cool.
Obviously, I love the story. Fully support the gay community. You know that. But here's why I wanted to talk about it on this episode. He's basically the first one, the first like footballer to come out as gay. It's why it's a huge story today. And it's like with all the professional
I thought there
athletes
was a
out there.
professional football player who came out.
Was there? I mean, maybe
one. I could be mistaken.
I mean, the headline is Josh Cavallo becomes the world's only known current male top flight professional footballer to come out as gay.
Cool. Good for him.
That's a hell of a long thing. That's a really long headline, by the way. That's a little wordy, but I guess that's all it could go with.
Hey, it works. Gets the idea out. Good for him.
But like, so football, for example, like there are like 27 leagues, like in Europe and US and like all these different leagues. Yeah, Australia, all over the world, like every country has like 5 professional leagues. And one gay guy, like how it, like it's just like the odds are not.
I'm sure there are more that just haven't.
Yeah,
it's got
NFL players, NHL player. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton. I'm just, and again, they come. I don't need the LGBTQ. Stop trying to push people. But I mean, I'm just saying they'll come at their own time. But I'm just saying, I'm surprised there's
Stop
not
bullying everyone, will you? God, I'm tired of it.
I'm surprised there's not more at this point. You would think at this stage of society.
We should, it should be
have a bunch.
one day we get to a point where coming out isn't even necessary. You are what you are, and you have to, it's like coming out as straight. It's like you don't have to come out as straight. Coming out as gay shouldn't even have to be a step taken. It should just be you go and you date whoever, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it shouldn't have to be this big reveal. It should just be that's part of life. You're either dating a man or you're dating a woman. It doesn't matter.
When are you going to come out as electrically incompetent?
Today, actually. It was the day. I was hoping you'd bring it up.
You want to share that story?
Sure.
By the way, full disclosure, I mean, I should rake him over the coals a bit more, but I've been exactly where Frank is going to describe where he just was.
I would maybe change the
So
headline.
congrats to Josh. I hope
Yes.
that more athletes come out. I feels like when big ones like this one, because football players are everything right now, especially in Europe and everywhere else. Like,
and these people are heroes, especially to younger people.
Right, exactly.
And people look up to them and they see that they could be brave enough. Then it sets a good example for younger people, especially.
Full support, obviously, and I hope there's more to come. So go ahead. So Frank had a bit of a electrical mishap in his house.
So I'm not sure if everybody noticed on Monday's show, the last show we did, I was the lighting was a bit off.
Right. What? Nothing. Go ahead.
So the lighting was a bit off. My kitchen lights, the overhead lights were out because half of my house had no electricity for some reason. We just woke up Monday morning and we had no electricity in half the house. Like my bedroom, half the bedroom out. The whole bathroom, half of another room, half the kitchen, half the living room. So downstairs to the basement, half of that. So we were like, all right.
I did the biggest, most unhelpful thing. I was like, well, did you check the fuse box?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, obviously I've checked the fuse box.
I checked the fuse box, genius. It's not the fuse box. Buttons? Did you turn it off and on? So obviously the first thing I did, I went downstairs to the fuse box and I checked if anything tripped. Nothing was tripped. So I was like, all right. So we looked up online. What could it be? So we called the electric company that's around here. Called them. They said, nope, you got full power. There's no outages in your area. It's something like we're good on the street. It's something in the house. Oh, great. Okay. So I call an electrician. They said they can't get here till today, 2 days. So it was Monday morning. They couldn't get here till today, Wednesday. Okay. So they come around 1 o'clock today, give or take. And I tell them what's going on. There's 3 guys come in. I said,
Three guys came?
3 guys, yeah. Because they didn't know how big of a job it was going to be. Half the house has no electricity. What, they could have to pull out wire. Who the hell knows? I didn't know I didn't ask them to bring 3 guys. I just said, could you send someone?
This is even more exhausting. Did your wife request 3 guys? Did she say, can you send 3 men, please?
3 of your
finest gentlemen?
Yes. Yeah. She may have. I didn't talk to
I'm married to a half a weenie. Could you, by any chance, send over a real man to the house, please?
Hey, you know what? Not only did I check the circuit breaker, but I actually unscrewed it and pulled it off the wall and checked underneath, which as soon as I took it off the wall, I realized I had no idea what I was looking at. I pulled, the switches. I pulled that whole panel, the metal switch plate off the wall.
I give you credit for that. I would have never done that.
And obviously all the switches are still connected to the thing.
Right. I would have been too afraid to do that, though.
So I took that off the wall. I placed it down on the floor. The wires are still going up into the thing. So I looked at it thinking, it's going to be obvious. I can see the problem right here. Why not just take care of it? Turn the power off. I'll be able to screw the wire back in. Shouldn't be a big deal. I take the thing off. Lo and behold, I don't know what I'm looking at. A bunch of wires.
Right.
Couldn't mean anything. So the 3 guys come over. They look around. They were here for about 5 minutes when they figured out the problem. Now, listen, I am not an electrician.
Wait, did you say I figured out the problem or they figured out the problem?
They figured out the problem.
Okay.
So, what they did was they went
5 minutes.
Wait,
how much time out of 5 minutes did they spend looking at your house versus looking at you and going, oh, I know what this is?
To be fair, I gave them a bit of a head start. They didn't have to do a lot when they got here.
Oh, you started the jar? That's what
I told. Right. I loosened the cap for them. So I told them what happened. I said half the house, these rooms, these lights, these outlets are all out. I said the thing's downstairs. I pulled the thing off the plate. You take, that tool where you put it in the socket or you put it up against the wire. It tells you if there's electricity running. It lights up. So I did that to all the circuits, all of the wires. Everything had power. And one of the guys goes, let me just take a look at something. He walks upstairs. He looks around at the ones that are everything that's out. He looks in the corner and he goes, that outlet, can I get to that? It was behind the TV. I never really go to that outlet. It's like hidden. We have the TV plugged in, but I never go to it.
You have like a 90-inch TV too. It takes up half
60-inch, but it's not like it's a flat screen, but it's not a flat TV. It's actually one of those things with the huge ass back on it, but it's a flat screen. So it's on a stand. So I take I pull the TV away from the wall. There's the outlet. He presses, those outlets, they're called GFI outlets. I didn't know that. It's the outlet that has like the two buttons in the middle. It says like test and whatever the hell.
Yeah.
He presses the button. All of a sudden, the whole house goes back on. What? He's like, sometimes these things trip. If you overload them or whatever the hell, you just got to reset it. That's it. Test and reset. Those are the two buttons on the thing. Hit the little reset button, which I've done before in the past. Like I have one outside in the yard. Right. I have to do anything with, with an outlet out there. Hit the little reset button, and it goes back on. And I said, in 10 years that I'm in this house, this never happened. So I had no idea what to do. He comes in, and then, it wasn't total loss. They took the thing off, they rewired it, made sure everything was connected right, and they put it back and everything.
No, they had to do something to juice you for the money. That's what
$300 later.
Shut up. Was that really it?
It was under three. They were the nicest guys, and I tip. You got to tip them.
You tipped them to boot.
You got to tip them. They're electricians. They set the price. It was $2 and change, and it was under 300. The whole thing came out. But I tipped. There was 3 guys, and I gave them some stuff. So a tip each.
300. That's a $300. You're not a man tax is what you just paid today.
See now. If I had known, I don't know what a GFI outlet is. They don't teach you that. Here's my whole philosophy. I think there should be in every.
It's society's fault. Go ahead.
No, not at all. I feel, and this is one of my things that I'll put in my book one day when I'm very old.
Well, please let me know when that's available.
Along with there should be professional jurors and all this stuff I have on everything else. All my ideas.
Philosophies. I can't.
Right. Frank philosophies. It's going to be called Can I Be Frank? And it's going to be all my things. And so my thing is that every school, every high school, freshman year, maybe even all 4 years, should have a class, mandatory class, basic life skills.
I agree with this. I hate that I agree with this so much. It's we waste so much time on stupid shit in school. Like 12 years of history. I was like, I got it. I understand how it happened. Yeah.
I'm never going to use all right. If I'm going to be an astronaut, I might use calculus.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that. 99.99% of us are not going to be astronauts.
You know what? Why do we have calculus? We should have banking. We should have
there should be a class one class, the teacher comes up there. Here's how you change a tire. Here's how you basic car maintenance. Here's how you do your taxes. Here's here's how you maybe do a little maintenance in the house. You work on this, maybe some cooking or how to do a budget. Little things that we take for granted that we don't really that we learn as we go, kind of things. Basic problem solving skills when you own a home or if you're in an apartment or this or that. Just everyday life stuff that our parents have to teach us, but we don't really get. When someone says do your taxes, I'm like, do what? I pay them. What happened? What do I got to do?
Yeah.
I give it to my accountant and he does them. I don't know what I'm doing. Do your taxes. Do what to them? Do you know what that means? Especially
when you're getting into the latter high school and then college years. I couldn't agree more.
But you got basic life skills. It's every week. It's a different topic. basic car maintenance, basic, maybe there's a hole in your roof to teach you how to patch that up or something.
There's
little
some
things. Maybe not a hole in the roof, but little things.
There's some hope for Frank Philosophies. I'm really starting to get excited about
chapter 5 is basic maintenance classes, basic life skills.
How does it feel to be the real life Clark Griswold, though? I mean, tell me. Was Russ out there helping? Was the guy who found it his name Russ?
No, he was. I forget his name. It was like he cut electricians. Some of them a little quirky. Because I guess they've been shocked a few times. His name was Big Bad. Something.
Now you're insulting the people that helped you.
No, very nice and very competent and very awesome people.
I can't believe you paid $300 for that. For the guy to press
it's what it is. There's a fee to come out. They have to come out and come in the house. There's a fee there, and then they did some. They pressed the button on my wall, so that's worth at least $200. To be fair, though, I was extremely happy because we had 2 days without electricity in half the house. Thank God my refrigerator was plugged into an outlet that worked. Laugh it up, fuzzball. My Star Wars coach for the day.
You're Adam Sandler from Big Daddy. If milk spills, you just put newspaper on it and just don't go into that area.
Couple of days, you clean it right up. It becomes solid. You pick it right up.
Thank God my fridge was plugged into a working outlet.
Obviously, I would have just plugged it into something else. But
I don't know if you would have thought of that. Yeah, I'd probably have called somebody who would come over your house and charge you $150 to tell you that.
Like you would have known to hit the one outlet that you never use was responsible for the half the house being out. I never heard of that.
I started saying in a house, I'm not so sure, but I had the same issue outside where when I first moved into my house, I put all the Christmas lights up. I was so happy. I was like, look, like I finally had that, like, look at this is great. And then I came home one day and the lights weren't on. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm looking at the outlet. I'm looking at the power thing.
Now who's Clark Griswold?
Yeah. And it turns out an outlet in the garage on the opposite side of the garage, nothing to do with where any of the lights were plugged in, has one of those things. And that controlled the entire. It took me like a day or two to figure that out.
You couldn't have suggested that to me on Monday when we talked about this?
I swear, the thought never occurred to me that was that could have been it. I didn't know.
I'm going to send you the $300 bill.
The way you made
I feel like you owe me at least half.
I feel like I should pick up half at this point.
I think so. You knew and you didn't tell me.
I laughed it up in your face. Yeah, we've all been in that moment where you hit that little stupid red or black button, and I still don't even, to this day, I don't even know which one it is. I have to hit both of them.
This outlet is literally behind a TV. I never go back there. It's behind a TV that's on a TV stand, up against the wall in the corner of the living room. I barely remember that it's back there. Whenever we plug anything in by the TV, it's on a power strip coming out of that thing, but it's like the thing is wrapped around. We plug into the power strip.
When he said $300, did you make a face? Did you flinch at all?
It was 2 and change, and I tipped with the tip. It was came up
with
to
the tip. It was $300. I can't believe you tipped.
Yeah, I went. Huh.
They're probably like, John, watch this. I'm gonna give this dope this $200 bill. Let's see what he does.
I know what it was too. They were recommended by someone. I didn't want to start a thing.
Yeah, I swear. So when I bought this house, it had a fireplace. We're from Queens. What do we know about a fireplace? Well, and everybody, especially from Queens, goes, you better get that cleaned out because they're gonna be, you start a fire, burn this whole house down. So in a panic, we call the chimney sweep person, whatever it is. He comes in, he walks in the house, he sticks his head in the fireplace. He goes, "There's nothing wrong with your fireplace." And he walks right out. I was like, "Can I give you anything?" He goes, "No, just call me when there is a problem." I was like, "Okay."
He didn't charge you?
Did not charge me at all. Didn't charge me at all.
That's nice.
We should have sent that guy to your house. He would have been nice about it.
Does he do electric?
I don't know.
To be fair, these guys, I got to be honest, they were very nice. They knew what they were talking about.
Now,
we're happy we have the electric back.
I know you're happy. Has your wife looked at you since this happened? Did she leave with the guys?
She did have a long conversation with her mom after they left. Not sure what that was about.
I would check her search history after this, because if she was looking up Bumble and Tink.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you do it.
I was about to say Tigger. Tinder.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what? I thought you were trying to come up with like a lawyer name or something.
Tigger, that dating app where you look for other Disney enthusiasts.
Well, the wonderful thing about Tigger is Tigger's a wonderful thing. Love Tigger. He was the best character in that whole show.
Could you imagine? Buzz Lightyear's your favorite? I don't think so. Swipe left.
Tigger's where it's
anyway. Anyway. Yeah, that's tough. You think she's ever going to sleep with you again? Or how long till she leaves you? That's tough to do. By the way, I know people are going to be like, oh, you're piling up on Frank, but I sympathize, because I am also not one of these Home Depot people, and I don't know.
Listen, I know a little bit.
Shut up. My wife is already, this is why I can't do, I can't. Whenever there's like an issue in the house, I send my wife away, because I don't want her to see how humiliated I get.
House issues fall into my jurisdiction. We've decided, my wife and I.
That's a poor decision, but go ahead.
I know, but it's what we did. She lost the coin toss, or I won I don't know. One of us lost the coin toss, and I get all the house issues. If there's a problem with the heater, the
right, but when she said she wants you to handle the house issues, I think she meant you fix it, not you call somebody.
No,
she could call
knows
somebody.
No. You call, you get them in here, you talk to them, you go through the whole thing with them. She goes, that's you. You do that, and the car. Anything wrong with the car? That's all you. You take care of it. I do this stuff. You do that.
Those are the two things you know the least about.
You'd be surprised. I know a lot less about a lot more.
Unfortunately for Frank, there's no Star Wars responsibilities in the house.
If I had to repair a lightsaber, I could handle that.
Couldn't you put you in charge of the Simpsons t-shirts? Because that would you'd
kill it. I'm in charge of that too. It doesn't just begin and end with house stuff. I mean, it's the electricity. If something goes wrong with an appliance, like the stove or whatever, washing. I'll take care of it. That's my thing. The oil, the heat, all that stuff. That's all me. So this one fell under my thing, and here we are.
How bad do you feel?
Not so bad.
No,
I feel all right.
I hate just everything about owning a home. I hate
it's all your fault or your responsibility.
Yeah.
It's so much.
And then there's like times where you're like, there's times where I've done something where it's like, I probably should have just paid somebody $5,000 to do it. And then there's other times where to save like $150, did like 17 days worth of work. Just I can't ever get it right.
Are you responsible for your landscaping, or do you have someone do it?
I have a landscaper. Yeah, I don't do
that
it.
you not that the that.
No, they do it. Yeah, I pay.
The place does it.
Yeah,
okay.
The homeowners. Yeah.
So I remember when I first moved into this house, got the whole thing. I went to the Home Depot.
I remember this.
Housewarming. People my aunts came together. They got me a lawnmower. I went to Home Depot. I got the what's it called? The weed whacker. All the stuff I needed. I mowed my lawn for about 3 weeks, and I said, I can't do this shit anymore. We know anybody? I looked at the neighbors. I said, you guys have a gardeners, right? Yeah. Okay. Give me their card, please. I couldn't do. It was such a pain in the ass.
I called this when you were like, you were like, I'm going to be great. I'm like, no, you're not.
To be fair, I do all that. I trim the hedges. They do the lawn stuff. Mm-hmm. And if I need them to like remove something or whatever, they do that. If I wanted them to, I could tell them trim the hedges in the front, in the yard.
But you take care of that.
But I do all that. Yeah,
you're the big man on the campus. I get it.
I gotta do something around here.
Like I'm sure today you plugged your little surge protector back in that outlet. You didn't leave that to them to do. You took care of that like the man you are.
No, I never unplugged that. I left it right in there.
Oh, just the best. The absolute best, my friend. Kyle Beach comes out as the John Doe in the Chicago Blackhawks sexual abuse scandal. So, Frank, if you didn't know, the Chicago Blackhawks National Hockey League team, there's been a buzz about them that there was some wrongdoings. They had a John Doe, which is if somebody wants to, report a complaint, but they don't want their names being out there. But just prior to the start of the podcast, Kyle Beach stepped forward as the John Doe in the middle of this Chicago Blackhawks sexual abuse scandal. What's unbelievable to me about this, and this seems to happen a lot in sports, who's a really great scorer? Theo Fleury. Theo Fleury was a huge scorer. He came forward and said that somebody abused him when he was a younger player. What's amazing to this about me, and I feel like that's why it's important we spend just a couple minutes on it, is that you're talking about National Hockey League players. These are, sometimes 18-year-olds, but a lot of the times 24, 22-year-old men, I would last 3 seconds in a fight with some of these guys, and yet they still they still come under. They can still be sexually abused, it just goes to show you how this can come from anywhere.
So this guy that was the John Doe, he was the victim.
He was the victim. He said he buried it for 10 or 11 years, and it destroyed. God, could you imagine carrying that with you? The findings of the investigation into the Blackhawks was released yesterday, and it was more about the internal handlings of these assault allegations. And this is what is so crazy, because remember in the Olympic team, it was the doctor, which doctors, they have certain, whatever. A head coach, you could certainly understand. This was the video coach. The video coach abusing a
Even though that was a thing.
hockey player. Yeah, it's become a thing. Again, you would have never, nobody would have guessed that. If I said to you, a hockey player is complaining of sexual abuse, you would have never been like, must be the video guy.
I would have figured physical therapist,
somebody who's touching him,
a trainer,
executive in a position of authority. Yeah.
Because for one, I didn't know video coach was a thing.
Right.
But apparently this is okay. So he pointed out it was the video coach. So now what happens? So he's gone, or is it a lawsuit?
Yeah. Obviously, the video coach is gone. And this goes back, again, like I said, he's been holding this 10, 11 years. So this goes back a ways. This is the 2010 season. So today, the Stan Bowman, who is the GM currently and was the GM, or he was the president of hockey, whatever, operations, and he was the GM at the time, he stepped aside. Which again, it's unfortunate, but, you got to handle these things the right way. You got to take them seriously. And, again, I'm not a cancel culture guy. You know that. I don't like people losing their jobs.
Cancel culture is one thing. This is sexual abuse.
Right. In this particular, because again, sometimes there's this hindsight thing, and I feel bad about judging people after the fact, but you're right. In this particular case, my point is you're not going to change the results of the future by not righting the wrongs of the past here, especially the most recent past. Well said. And people deserve to lose their jobs for mishandling this, for sure.
What obviously the Blackhawks player is still with the team, still on the team?
No, I don't believe so.
He's is he still playing? Is an active player?
He might be. I gotta tell you the honest truth, as a pretty big hockey fan, I don't know. He was never like a super popular, huge, really good player. That's not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying he wasn't like a Sidney Crosby or somebody that even non-hockey fans would know.
Right. Okay. So and now I'm sure lawsuits and all that will follow.
Even though he was an 11th overall pick, so that was a pretty high pick. Oh, it looks like he is still playing. Let me see here. I don't know if he's on a team still.
What's his name?
Kyle Beach.
I don't know. But all right, so lawsuits, this guy's obviously fired, and other people went along with him. Like,
yeah.
When you say cleaned house, they got rid of a ton of other people around this issue?
I don't know. I really don't know. But the Stan Bowman, who's obviously what's his name? Bowman, famed hockey coach. Stan Bowman, I think, is his father, who won like a ton of cups with the Detroit Red Wings and everything like that. This is his son, who's been running the Blackhawks, and they won all the cups with them like a couple of years ago.
So he stepped aside because of this? Like,
Well, he was the boss. You know, he was. This investigation wasn't necessarily into the. They knew about the abuse was reported.
Okay,
and it was how they handled the situation.
Oh, so he mishandled it.
They mishandled it. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was just this happened under my watch, so I'm stepping aside. Like, if he did nothing wrong, then he shouldn't step aside. But obviously, if he mishandled this whole thing, then yeah.
Yeah. The thing is in this day and age, I know it's tough again because you could probably wind up firing somebody who's innocent, but there has to be a buck stops with me mentality, and you can't really let that stuff go. You have to foster an environment where anybody at any time can come up to you,
yes,
and tell you what's happening, and you should be taken seriously.
100%. There's got to be room for that kind of,
Yeah.
A complaint is made, action's taken. This is what has to happen.
Speaking of taken seriously, Tiger King 2 coming out.
About time.
I have to be honest with you. I knew the trailer was coming out. I watched about 7 seconds of it, and I stopped watching it. Is it me? I'm going to pull my wife in on this, too, even though she's not on mic. Now, Frank never watched it. My wife and I watched it. We were all over Tiger King. Is it me, or it's like I just don't want to go back there? Like, to me, there were some things that happened during the pandemic that I don't want to experience ever again. And there were some things that happened during the pandemic that were great. Like the Bulls documentary with Jordan. Great. I was lost in that. I loved it. I'd watch it again. Tiger King, it was a great thing. I feel like it kind of got us through that. It was depressing, though. I don't want to go back to that subject matter.
What's left to talk about?
Oh, they're like, there's so much and blah, blah, blah. Now, the one thing I will say is they kind of touched on the fact Carol Baskin's husband, remember, he disappeared and we never really knew what happened with him. Supposedly, they're going to touch on that a bit more. But, I mean, so I kind of want to know what happened to that guy. But that, to me, becomes like a true crime thing. I don't care about Joe Exotic. I don't care about getting him out of prison.
Weren't they going to make a Nicolas Cage Tiger King movie or something?
There's supposedly still a couple of Tiger King things in the work. Yeah, movies. There was like 2. There was 2 competing movies going.
I think they missed the boat on this thing, unless I'm wrong. I mean, is this still a big deal, Tiger King?
Supposedly Jeff Lowe and his wife, who there's like swingers. They talk about them being swingers. It just, to me, it's like, like, do you remember like we all watched this Jerry Springer show and it was like, oh, it's great. And then like after like 3 years, you're kind of like, I don't want to watch white trash people just scream at each other. And it gets boring. It gets a little less interesting, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same stories over and over. Well, they do get more outlandish.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not going to get pulled into it. I might wind up watching it if the mood strikes or we have some time or whatever. But I'm not.
My brother met him. My brother once met Jerry Springer. Like, he was at some bar in the Hamptons or something. And my brother met Jerry Springer there. Jerry Springer was, I don't know what he was doing there, but he was just enjoying his time out at the Hamptons. And my brother went up to him to say hi. And he said, if Jerry Springer said, if I give you any piece of advice, it's never be on my show. That was his piece of advice to him. Good advice. Yeah. I'm sorry if I sound different. I'm a little under the weather, a little nasally.
Stoner treats disguised as normal snacks. This is a story going on right now.
Okay, what is this?
Well-known snacks. There's been a warning that's been issued about cannabis edibles that look like well-known snacks.
Like Twinkies?
A number of state attorney generals issued a new warning about cannabis edibles meant to look like well-known snack foods. The attorneys general said these products may contain high concentrations of THC. For example, a bag of lookalike Cheetos contains 600 milligrams of THC. I think that's a lot.
Well, they got to be labeled as such, no? Are they not labeling them?
In the first half of 2021 alone, the American Association of Poison Control Centers reports poison control hotline calls have received an estimated 2,622 calls for services related to young children ingesting cannabis products.
I mean, unless the labels are so discreet, you can't even, like if you buy Snapple versus Diet Snapple and you're like, I picked the wrong one. Unless it's like a very minimal distinction between cannabis and cannabis free.
Well, there's double stuff Stonios, which looks like an Oreo package.
I feel like Stonios should probably tip you off there.
Yeah, and there is a marijuana leaf on the thing,
like stamped on the cookie itself.
Listen, I mean,
I mean, if they're selling it next to the Oreos, that's a little weird. They should have like a cannabis section.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, let's say you buy it as a stoner, and then your niece comes over and is like hungry and like, oh, some more. Like, who's gonna really look that closely at the bag? Just because your niece didn't just buy it doesn't mean that it's still not problematic that they're passing off these regular like treats as.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like,
or I should say, these stoner treats as regular treats.
If I'm a stoner and I've got cookies in my house that have marijuana in it, and my nieces come over, I'm not going to be, maybe I won't know, maybe I'll forget, but I feel like I'd be a little responsible to be like, don't eat these or hide them or something.
I don't know. At like 11 o'clock at night, I start to get hungry. I'll reach for anything. I'm not reading labels. I'm just grabbing and eating.
You might, but they're your things. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked by this, Frankie C. Tim Allen out as Buzz Lightyear. I wrote that a lot more scandalous than it probably.
You really did. He's out. He's been booted. No,
booted.
They're making a movie about Buzz Lightyear in his early years.
Listen, as a patriot, I feel like I must stand up for fellow patriots who love this country. Okay. Don't want to see its demise, like certain people on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
play to your wife.
They're No, you're in.
What are you doing? You all right?
That's you. You're on this side.
All right. I thought you had like a medical issue. Freaking out on me.
People who are like Hollywood and like.
Your microphone?
No, you.
So it's not that he's out. I'm sure if they make another Toy Story and they have Buzz Lightyear in it, it'll be Tim Allen.
Yeah, okay. All right. I watched a movie where Robert De Niro went from 18 to 75. Okay. Why don't they have why aren't they going with Tim Allen on this,
What are you talking about?
If they could make in the Irishman.
Oh.
It's
not about his look, it's about his voice.
But if they could physically make, first of all, I can do this. I could young somebody up voice wise. And if I can do it, Hollywood could do it.
So then what's the point of having, why not just cast someone else?
Hold on. We have an expert in young looks, and that's JSABs, and she joins us. What's going on there, JSABs?
I'm only jumping in and jumping on here because jumping in and jumping on, does that make sense?
For now.
Sounds like it's what you just did with your husband before you joined.
Hi-oh. So what's up?
I was doing an interview, so I am like.
Oh, excuse me. I mean, thank you for making time for us.
Gracing us with your presence.
Yeah. Oh my God, an interview. Who'd
you
do
for
with?
a job?
Hollywood, the New York Times.
Oh, well, you'll see.
Are you wrapping up an OnlyFans session?
That too.
Yeah,
I was actually interviewing someone.
Oh, you were interviewing somebody.
So.
Oh, was this the thing I was supposed to help you out?
Yes, I was so nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask what this is for?
Sure. It's for Star Legacy Foundation, one of the doctors.
Oh. Oh, so you had a interview for?
Like, well, he wrote a book on the placenta, so I was interviewing him about why he does.
Frank's planning to write a book about his philosophy.
About what?
This guy.
I would just love to put Frank's Franklosophies next to the placenta book.
Goodbye.
One written by a medical expert after years and years of research, and the other one written by Frank.
I'm not talking any kind of medical jargon. I'm not gonna tip my toe into something I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'll be honest with you. It has medical terms in there, but he had someone come in and clean that up to make it like, easier to read.
Oh, every book has that editor.
Well,
you could have had Frank
for medical stuff is harder.
Yeah.
So,
True.
yeah. So
it went well.
I think so.
Did you ask him what he thought about Tim Allen not being Buzz Lightyear anymore?
You know what? I was gonna, but then I was like, nah. He probably doesn't even know who the fuck Tim Allen is.
That's true. He's too busy saving lives.
He knows who. Yeah, exactly. Saving babies' lives, basically.
Yeah.
So,
why you gotta one up me like that?
Sorry.
Saving lives just enough?
God.
Anthony's being a dick today. Don't worry, JSABs.
A little.
So Tim Allen. The only reason Tim Allen isn't Buzz Lightyear, from what I can understand, is that it's Buzz Lightyear when he was young, like a teenager.
This was we're gonna JSAB, so I'm gonna get into your interview, but this is what we were talking about.
No, please.
And I was making the point that in the Irish, if you could make somebody look younger, which is so difficult, you could easily make somebody sound younger by just kind of pitching them up a little bit.
Oh, they think he sounds too old?
Or he sounds too much like a Trump supporter.
That's why. That's why.
Here we go. But if they made a Buzz Lightyear movie, or if they made a Toy Story movie with Buzz Lightyear, present day Buzz Lightyear, I'm sure they would use Tim Allen. Which they have. What was it? The last Toy Story 4, right? Or was there a fourth?
Toy Story 4, yep.
Yeah. That wasn't that long ago. And now they've casted Chris Evans, Captain America.
Which, we need more Chris Evans in the world.
I love Chris Evans. He could be in every movie.
Oh, Chris Evans.
I haven't watched this trailer yet, but I feel like they might be ruining his voice is so iconic and perfect with the character.
Yeah. You know what's weird, though? So. In the trailer, I watched the trailer. This isn't a spoiler. But in the trailer, he only says one word. You only hear Chris Evans' voice just briefly.
Has Tim Allen reacted to this? By the way, I also want to put this out there. The Trump thing was Frank's theory on it, not mine.
No, it wasn't.
I just brought up that was it to me.
Yeah, well, that's one of the theories that's out there. That's one of the things that's out there. A lot of the headlines are like, "Was this a snub against Tim Allen because of political reasons?" It's like, maybe, but how the hell do we know? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's just Chris Evans is one of the big actors now. Why not get a huge name and a younger sounding person? It could be that.
Sure. Next.
I don't know.
First, the Dems are ruining our country. Now they're going to ruin our kids' movies. This seems like a horrible.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Because he likes Trump. Be a great movie. That's why he's out. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, let me just say, if any Hollywood casting directors are watching, I never liked President Trump from the beginning. I love Hillary Clinton, and I think she's innocent and fantastic.
Oh my God.
Kiss ass.
JSAB story or our Six Flags meal plan? We have to move quick on both.
Oh, well, I don't really have a story. All right,
no, you finished. Tell us about the interview. Did you ask intriguing questions?
Dr. Placenta guy.
I did.
Yeah.
I had some questions prepared beforehand, and then we took some questions from the people who are watching the Zoom as well.
Oh, so you had an audience.
Yeah, there was 25 people.
Not bad.
But I'm gonna upload it to the Tube and to a few other platforms, and then we'll see.
Nice.
Okay. Can we include it on an upcoming episode, or are you trying to distance yourself from this debacle?
Oh my God. Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. I'll put it on.
I was definitely obviously serious, so that's kind of weird for me to be serious.
Wait, you didn't say that's what she said once during the interview? You gave up on your brand?
Do you know how many times I was pinching my arm? Because I'm like, don't say it, Janine. Don't say it.
I think we should put it on the podcast one day.
Are there any interesting placenta facts that we didn't know?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tune in to find out.
Well done. Well played.
There's a lot. So
cool.
This is what I want you to ask this doctor.
Go ahead.
This is what I want you to ask this doctor if you ever get to interview him again.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Ask him.
This is going to be nonsense, by the way.
Why do you always have to knock me down? Why can't I talk
No, go ahead.
serious?
It'll be serious. Yeah.
Talk about Star Legacy Foundation. It's not about you, okay? We're talking about Star Legacy Foundation. This is important.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, next time you have the doctor, I want you to ask him that if he had electricians come to his house and basically just flick a switch to fix something, would he pay them upwards of $300 for that 5-minute service?
Oh my God. Is this what happened to Frank?
Why would you say that?
I wonder
because
why.
Anthony's making fun of me. Yeah,
I just want to know if an educated person who is saving lives, most notably babies' lives. Sorry, Janine. If he would do that, if a smart, intelligent person like that would be.
I think he would do that. Seems like a reasonable guy.
Right. Well, he doesn't think he's smart, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're like the smartest person I've ever met in my entire life. But okay.
What age is this doctor? Does he have gray hair?
He's 70.
Oh my God! Were you? Stand up. Are you wearing pants? No, don't stand up. Just tell me.
Well, to be quite honest, he was my doctor.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
He is very well known. So, but oh my God, he's adorable.
My wife had a well-known none of my doctors are well-known. I've never had like a famous doctor.
You got you got the D students.
Right?
They passed, but just barely.
Barely.
And I ask all of them, I go, like, even like an industry magazine or something, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn article. I'll take anything. They're like, yeah, no, nothing. I'm like, shit.
Well, I know you're going to
practice
think.
under the radar.
Right. He is very adorable. What?
Really?
Right up your alley.
All my doctors are Robin Williams from...
Patch Adams?
No. What's the one with Hugh Grant and...
9 months?
9 months. And he's got all the wrong names and everything.
Oh, God.
That's one of the best Robin Williams performances ever.
I could never have a hot doctor. I could never have a hot doctor. That is the most awkward, embarrassing thing ever. I'll tell you. First of all, I have a chiropractor that I use who I got so mad at my friend. My friend recommended some guy. I had something wrong with my neck. Insert jokes here. And I go to him and he opens the door and I'm like, hi, I'm here to see Dr. Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's me. I'm like, what?
He was super hot.
I texted my friend right away. I was like, I'm sorry. Did you forget to tell me that he's fucking hot? Like, hello.
Why are you mad at her?
Yeah, why is that a problem?
Because I would have, like,
a nice surprise.
did my hair a little bit better. Like,
come on
hello.
Aren't you married? Are you a married person?
Yeah, but you still want to look good.
Why?
You don't want to give up on life, like.
Sure, it's a doctor. She's
ouch.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to make a joke. Go ahead.
That's all right. It's okay.
Totally kidding.
But to be fair, she's married to an IT guy, so she got a doctor. That's a huge upgrade.
Right.
I mean, granted, she's not married to a professional podcast host like.
Right. Like your wife.
I've never heard a doctor say, just turn it off and turn it on again. It should be fine.
That's true.
I feel like that's the thing that the IT guy says all the time.
Well, she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that. So it's like a running joke between our husbands where I'm like, I just hurt my neck. I guess I have to go see him.
So did you enjoy your adjustment?
No, he was very good. And he wasn't pushy or creepy. So.
All right. That's good.
Who's hotter, the doctor or the homeless guy?
Oh, that's tough.
Is the doctor like 90 years old?
No, this guy is like between 35 and 40.
I can't believe you're taking this long to answer a doctor or homeless guy.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
It's
I'm gonna have
it's
to come
the
back.
threat of being killed by the homeless guy that's so exciting, isn't it?
Kidnapped.
Unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
It is still October. So of course we have the donation link to Star Legacy and the link in the description below. What is it? I say Stillbirth Awareness Month. I know that's incorrect.
Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month.
Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. There you go.
Get it right, you inconsiderate bastard.
I can't get much right, so that's I do know how to keep the electricity on in my house though, so
Oh God.
You had no idea. You went through the same thing I did.
I figured it out. I didn't try.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it because like your switch is on something? Like if you touch it, is that one of those?
He had the one, the little red and black buttons on the outlet.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to hit the test of it. That's what he discovered that
Listen,
he had.
half of my house was
I'm
out.
sorry. Wait, no, I apologize. That's incorrect. That's what the men who he paid $300 discovered at his house.
Here's what happened. So half of my house had no electricity. I called the electric company. I called
You guys can do this on your private time. We've
a
already
friend
done this
of
on the
mine
show.
that knows about it. Nobody said, "Do you have a GFI outlet?" Well, just press the button. There were literally dozens of outlets that were out, and the one outlet that caused the problem was behind a TV that I had no idea had a little button on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they found.
Frank, you should always check for a little button. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. If
Walked into
Janina's
that
ever made you laugh, hit the link in the description below and
Thank
donate
you.
to the Star Legacy Foundation. Please do that. Six Flags meal plan. Did you hear about this guy? I love
What
this
is
guy.
this?
This guy, I wish I had, this is what Frank aims to be, but just falls short. Guy spent $150 a year eating every single one of his meals at Six Flags in California.
I mean, I dig it. I dig it.
Since 2014. And the fact that he only spent $150 a year on his food costs gave him the ability to pay off his student loans in just
You know
7
what?
years.
How is this
He's
possible?
smart.
Okay, here's
He's
how it's
smart.
possible. At Six Flags, they have a yearly pass. And if you get a certain level of the yearly pass, it includes year-round access to the park, free parking, and 2 meals a day.
Oh,
And he legit went to Six Flags every single day to eat.
Wow.
you know what? Good for him.
So where did the $150 come in?
That's it. You pay
That's,
$100.
that's the price of the
That's
admission.
the price
for
of the
year?
admission ticket. That includes 2 meals a day. Because if you're Six
Wow.
Flags, who you think who's going to come every single day?
Right.
Are they even
This guy.
open 365? No, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that they are.
Well, maybe if on Christmas or New Year's Day he went and ate somewhere else.
Well, yeah, but like, no, where was this? You said California, or
it's the Six Flags in California, Valencia, California. Yeah.
That
Wow.
is. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't mind eating some chicken strips
yeah,
and
French fries,
burgers.
Yeah.
See, because I feel like the Six Flags out here by us, the one closest to us, I feel like it's not open all year round. Like January,
I don't know.
I feel like it's not open because it's too cold,
Or it's just miserable to go to. They shut down
Yeah.
certain rides.
I don't think it's open all year round, but I'm sure the one in California can be.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to die real soon because it's theme park food, and there's no way anybody's natural, intestinal system can take that. But still,
But his student loans are paid for.
he
That's
is
the
student loan free. Give him credit for that.
good for him.
Put it on TikTok too. Kind of a dick move, blowing it up for everybody else. They're not going to be able
Right.
to do this anymore now.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I wonder if he dated at any time during this whole thing. Like, because he
Yeah,
had to
you
bring
want
his
to go to
date
Six
there.
Flags?
Let's go to Six Flags.
Actually, you wait in the parking lot. I'll be back.
Bring in one of those cardboard thingies. And all the
Since he
food.
met his wife
Yep.
6 years ago, this guy named is Dylan. He's a roller coaster fan too. He's scaled back on some of his Six Flags feastings, dialing it down to a mere 3 or 4 lunches at the theme park per week.
It's still a lot. I wonder how
That's-
close he lives to this thing.
He lives like right there. I saw the TikTok. He lives
that's
like
perfect.
right there. Like it's easy for him to go.
Hey, this guy's got the system nailed.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Yeah, and to his credit though, I mean, you're eating shit, but he was also walking around the theme park a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure there's some kind of help. I'm sure there's a salad in there somewhere.
Yeah, they have them.
You know
Right?
what's strange? Yeah, probably. You know what's strange? I knew somebody who lived in Florida. This is what Florida people do. Like they just Six Flags and Disney and Universal. Like they just go to these places. Like just to
like
like
we
how
would go
you
to the movies.
yeah how we go to the movies exactly. They just like you want to go to Six Flags and they just go for the day.
I know a girl who lives in Florida, and she has year passes to Universal, and she's like, sometimes I'll just drop my kids off and at school and then just walk around the park. She's like, it's nice to look at, it's clean, and she's like, and I get some exercise. I'm like, you know what? I'd probably do the same.
Yeah.
And she's like, sometimes I'll go on a ride, but depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
I gotta tell you, if Universal Studios was in my neighborhood, I'd be there all the time.
You go all the time.
I know. I think
Universal's
I would too.
great.
Yeah.
Or any of
Wow,
those
me and
parks.
Frank agree. Me and Frank agree on Universal.
Well, who's not going to go to Universal? Everybody's going to agree on Universal.
Yeah, but some people are like, Universal sucks. You have to just Disney. And I'm like, no, Universal.
How could you say Universal sucks? It's got everything.
I know, it really does.
Disney's great and all because of the characters and all the rides, whatever. But Universal's got all the movie stuff, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Simpsons, maybe?
No, Star Wars is at Disney, but...
Oh, Star Wars is at Disney, okay.
Simpsons is at Universal.
They got all the movie rides for the most part.
I love a good movie ride. I miss the old movie rides.
That's what she said.
Back to the Future and all those.
King Kong, I think they took down.
King Kong, yeah. Don't forget to join to check out the merch store. Plenty of stuff up there. Our legalized comedy shirts, show me potato salad shirts. That's what she said. We got the tanks up there, hoodies now. It's hoodie season. Grab some merch.
It's not hoodie season yet. You crazy.
It's hoodie. I wore my hoodie today.
Totally hoodie season.
It's cold out there.
We spent an arm and a leg on gear for the kids' school. Like we bought school stuff for the first time, like his flag football team and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I gotta
God.
say, it was comfortable. The hoodie was super comfortable. Yeah, I'm totally in a cult now. Just a cult.
Hoodies are magical, like shirts that give you a nice hug.
We're in a cult. We walk around in flag football school hoodie sweatshirts in a mid-size SUV with our Starbucks car. Like we're just
You're the hoodie family.
Line. Yeah. We talk about you can't take away my freedom. What freedoms? We're all doing the same shit over here. It's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, I have the AC on still.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
What?
You're crazy.
Crack a window.
Link
you know
in
what
the
it
description
is?
below.
At night.
Go ahead.
At night. It's too hot. So, I mean,
Crack a
I don't dress like
you turn the
Anthony's
heat.
wife.
You have the heat on too?
No, the heat. Are you out of your mind?
Problem is she's driving past homeless guys and interviewing sexy doctors. What are you two coughing at the same time now? Why aren't you telling me? Now I'm the only one left out of the cough thing.
Because we don't like you.
Jesus. You synchronized that cough, didn't you? Is there a text thing behind my back?
I think you need to drop the cough thing.
Catch you guys in the next episode. Links and info all below. AnthonyOnAir.com. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.